Hi guys, welcome to Material Musings. Today we are looking at some things that I was looking at last week, and I wanted to find out whether any of them could be used in terms of looking at the shapes, the patterns, and using them to create stamps for fabric. And you know, if it goes well on fabric, it will go well on paper. So I've got this. It's a kind of a plasticky type of tablecloth, and just looking at some of the areas to see what kind of prints we can get. We've got this fan part. I might just cut that off separately. So it was a tablecloth, and it got put in the machine, and it just started to come apart. I guess it was old anyway. So we've got that large piece there, and then I wanted to see what these shapes could get. So I actually need my stencil brush. Okay, so we've got that. I've got just a piece of fabric. It's a thin cotton fabric, probably used like as a lining. Do you like my crocheted? I think this probably the only things I've made in terms of crochet are kind of jewelry, like necklaces and bracelets. I haven't made any kind of clothes or anything fancy. Okay, so we've got this came in a roll, so if you check back to last week's, you'll see that I've got a big roll of this, and so we want to see what we get with that. This is another kind of fabric that is used mainly in sort of like, I've seen it in terms of flowers. We've got other curtain material that is the kind of really lacy part that I've used as well. And then we've just got, yeah, just some small random pieces like these. I'm just gonna put together in my scrap bag, and they can be form part of something. And then I had a length of this, and I've just been cutting it up. It was on a clothes. It was not lining, it was decorating, I think, a dress. And so I've just cut up the elements to see whether ink or whether paint what kind of effect it might have. And then I found this in my just tidying up the box, and I thought, let's see if I could use this as a mini stencil and see what happens. So the paint that I'm using, I just thought I haven't used these are soft fabric paints by Tulip. This one's matte and this one's pearl. So when they do dry, they in terms of stitching through it, it's easy to stitch through it and easy to manage. But you can use acrylic paints if you want. You just have to be mindful as to when you are stitching. It plasticizes, so sometimes it can be hard to get the needle through depending on the fabric. Okay, so we're just going to start, I think. Let me get out my inks. So these are some inks in here, and I just need a little container to dash some in. I'm going to use this. That will do. So I've just got a little container here. I just want a little bit in, and I've already got some on this fabric. So I've got a stencil brush, and my hands are getting messy already. So I'm just literally going to take up a piece, and what we're going to try first. Let's try dyeing these things. I mean, they will dye. So it's cotton, so you can actually put it in tea. You can, you know, I'm just stamping on the back here and the front. or you could, you know, put them in and just let it soak up, and it will soak up, and then you just allow it to dry. Yeah, so those are fine, but I want to see how it goes through. We'll try the plastic one on the fabric first. Okay, so I mean, it should be fine. We should get a nice design. Even on some of the small, tiny areas. Moment of truth. Oh, ooh. Wow. Look at that. I really like it. I'd never thought of doing that, yeah? But that is so pretty. That is, you know, in terms of adding to a stitch project, it's so pretty. And even the little tiny bits there, you can still see them. So let's do this bit. Let me just get some more ink. So this ink was not necessarily made for fabric. It is, I had an old printer and I was refilling it. Then the printer broke and I brought all this ink, and so that's all it is. So it stains quite nicely, and I use it on paper, on loads of things, on paper mainly. But I'm just experimenting here. When you're working on fabric, again, you know, you can just use what you've got. But if, again, you are stitching through it, then, you know, consider using fabric paint. Yeah. So you have to have the less you have on the brush, the cleaner it will be. We've got a flower here, so let's try that. Ooh, it gives you a really kind of lacy embroidered design, and that is really, really pretty. So I'm really pleased with that. And if I did it on, I can do it on the paper, and we'll get the same kind of results just by working our way. I can even just rub it, but kind of hold it, because it's not as stiff. You don't want it, you want it to leave the imprint. Okay, let's have a look. Ooh, yeah, I like this. It kind of gives you a curve effect. Okay, so this is a winner. So I've got a few there I can play around with. That goes in my stencils for fabric and paper. Love the fabric. Love the way that it looks. So I'm going to come out now. Okay. So what do we try next? Let us try this one. Looks like it wants to be next. Let me just get rid of this. You don't need to throw it away. It can be used in a mini project if you're into mini. I'm into mini projects, so okay. Right, we're going to try this on the fabric just here. I'm going to use the same ink and just hold it down, and I don't doubt that I'm going to get something interesting. I just never have thought of doing it, and It was just last week when I was thinking, ooh, oh my, I like that. Look at this. Sorry to get so excited. But it's just amazing, you know, to think you could go out and pay like a lot of money for a stencil that would give you that effect. I might try it with some of the paint now. I'm going to try with the pink. Okay, so you ready? Yeah. So it gives you kind of like that veiny effect. And let's do it on paper. I'll do it with the ink on paper. And again, I do not doubt that it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, you couldn't see what I was doing, could you? Let's come out. Okay, let's do it with this. There we go. We've got a lovely effect, and you could even combine them. That's amazing. Okay, so that's a winner for the second one. Okay, so we've got this piece now. I'll take up a new piece. Okay, I'm just gonna put it there. I'm going to use the blue. We might get some pink in there. Okay. Because this is thicker, it might be more of a challenge to do it. And maybe what I should do is pin it down. But let's see how much we can get as is. Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. If you're just mark making, that's fine. Let's put this here. If you just as I wouldn't use the fabric paint, so I'm switching to the ink. But just for mark making purposes, that's great. Yeah, so that one worked. Okay, we've got this one. Again, I've no doubt that it's gonna work well. I'm just gonna stick with the ink. It's just like really nice results. But as I said, the paint does work, so you know it's not just for this purpose. The ink gives you a nice look. I'm going to do the bottom part as well. And I'm going just slightly over it, over the edges. Let's lift up. Ooh. Oh wow. And let's see if we could even think about maybe a reverse image. I've got my It's probably dry, or yeah, it's dry already, but that's fine. Let's try it with the blue and then try the same thing. So the fabric paint, it will dry slower, so we might be able to get reverse image. But so I'm just going to stamp the holes and then come down. So I hope you're thinking about some of the things that you could potentially, that you're sitting on, that you could potentially use. Okay, that's a nice look. Okay, I'm just gonna see if we can get anything. Ooh, so there's a faint image. Yeah, that's interesting, how different they look. Okay, so we've got another winner. And was that it? No, there's this one. Okay, let's use it down here. There's a brush again with the ink to begin with. Let me see what side I want to use. This almost looks like a piece of jewellery, but it's lace. So holding it tight and then go on the other side, which is not bad. And then I'm just going to see, because it's the fabric, whether I can get anything off. So just really a shadow, but I want to see that again. I'll give it a bit more space. So we'll do it here. And let's see how we get on. So it doesn't have to be perfect, because really what you're doing is mark making and on the surface of your fabric, and just add in some really nice elements that you wouldn't have got otherwise. Okay, so let us see what we've used so far. We've just got this last one, which is a very fine piece of lace, and again, it's the ones that you don't think could be used for anything but what it was supposed to be used for, is the ones that, you know, just really surprise you. So I'm just gonna you wouldn't necessarily have used, oh, that's so pretty. That is really pretty. I would never have used it for this, but I'm so glad curiosity got to me, because, you know, you could then just have a stamping session and stamp a piece of fabric, and then you've got some nice elements to work with. So these are the ones that we used. I know it's gonna, if it works on paper, you know it's gonna work on fabric, so I'm not gonna do the paper. For me, the main thing is it going to, how's it gonna look on the fabric? So we've got this one. So look at some of the lace things that you may have in your supply that you're using to stitch, and even when you decide, okay, I've used this enough now, it's kind of falling apart, you can use this in your stitch project. And that's the other one that we've got. So aren't they pretty? They are so pretty. It just is quite amazing to me, and I'm so pleased that I followed my curiosity. And now I have a whole new array of materials that I can use for stenciling, and I can work on my fabrics, and I'm going to be looking for some more. Everything, I'm not going to look at these things in the same way. You can also, if you do crochet and you get the crochet thread, you can crochet for yourself some designs and then use them in this way. I don't think I would be doing that, but I would be on the lookout for these kind of things and say to myself, I wonder what if. So I hope that that's been useful, and I hope you try it. I hope you find some of the things that you can use as potential stencils on your fabric. And tag me at Reality Arts. I'd love to see what you get up to and what you have in your kit. And saying that, if you want to buy the fragmented fabrics kit, I'll be putting some of these lace materials in there, so that if you don't have any for yourself, there'll be some that you'll be able to access from the kit, which is available on my course platform. And it also comes with some stitch projects, so it's almost like a mini course, but the main thing is the fabric kit, which you get sent afterwards. And yeah, I'm really pleased. So yeah, you'll be getting a piece of all of them, so you'll have all of them at your disposal. So with that said, thank you for joining me, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.